Hey there, grape grower. This is Fritz Westover with Virtual Viticulture Academy and the Vineyard Underground podcast. I'm in Limoges, Cellars. This is Dan Limoges. Dan, how you doing today?
Doing well. How about you, Fritz?
Very well. We are in North Georgia, near Cleveland, Georgia, that is, not in Ohio. And we're in the Merlot block. And Dan, you had a really interesting scenario that I thought we could share with the world here. Let's share it with the world, right?
Sure.
Like, no secrets in Limoges Cellars, right?
There are not.
Okay.
No, so December 2022, we had a hard freeze. We went from about 50 degrees one week down to 3 consecutive nights of 3-degree lows. And so I think what we suspect is that the vine didn't acclimate properly to winter. Later that next growing season, we noticed some weak growth in certain blocks and wimpy shoots.
Mm-hmm.
And then we noticed, as we look closer, some trunk splitting where the trunk likely froze. But it was odd because it didn't show itself for about 5-ish months later.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We always say that freeze damage is insidious and it kind of shows itself over even multiple years. And so this is Merlot here that we're standing in front of. And Merlot's not the most cold hardy variety that you grow here at Limoges Cellars, but it's been doing well. And so our strategy was what, Dan? What did we decide to do in the vineyard when we saw we were getting a lot of dead spots and some poor growth on your Merlot?
Well, so any vine that we suspected had a trunk split, we could kind of see the scarring. We flagged all of those, and then we adopted the spare parts viticulture approach.
Yeah.
Where we started keeping buds, anything that pushed down low, we would keep it and try to grow a new trunk in parallel to whatever growth we could get off of this potentially damaged vine. Only knowing that we were going to make a decision later about what we do.
Yeah, and what's great about this is you grew a shoot from down below the damaged trunk, up to the fruiting wire, and you can see where it was cut. So this is 1-year-old cane wood coming out of 2-year-old trunk wood. The cut was made last year, so you basically just brought up a trunk, trunked it or cut it here at the fruiting wire. Mm-hmm. And then this season, you removed all the shoots except for the top 4. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is you want to keep the vine in production while you're creating your replacement, and that way you never go out of production. And so it seems like it worked well because now we have this whole new trunk of 2-year-old wood. We've got 1, 2, 3 canes that can be used for replacing, and you can get rid of these gaps where we don't have spurs. So we're gonna make some big cuts today. Dan, this is gonna be a big deal. You wanna hit it up with me?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so you wanna go down there and cut the trunk. Let's show how we're gonna do that. We're gonna come up. I like to leave a good pruning shear length, about 8 inches, so I'll do the trunk cut. Actually, you do the honors, Dan.
Right.
This is your vine. And we'll just go ahead and cut that right there. And then we'll have to desucker any shoots that come out of here. I'll cut the top part here for you. We want to say measure twice, cut once, so you don't cut the wrong trunk off, right? Sure. And then we're going to actually remove these cordons. So that one come off that side. I'll take this one off this side. Okay, and we'll completely remove this older vine that has some apparent damage in the trunk that's causing weak spur positions and weak cane growth. And we were able to get enough production out of it. The trunk was still working well enough to get the production, but we don't want to rely on it for the 20 years down the road long-term plan. So Dan, I think it's pretty clear what we do here. We're trying to lay down some cordons. Mm-hmm. I've got one perfectly on my side that's good size wood. It's more than 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to use that for my side, and I think on your side you have.
Looking one too.
Yep.
2 in fact.
Yep. So we can cut this bit of dead wood out from our space wood last year. We don't really want this wood down here. I'm not going to cut this out. We're going to leave that there for a minute. Make sure you don't break your cane. That'll be our backup, and then we'll talk about backup spurs and why we use those here at your site. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and just start bending that down gradually. Okay, we can go ahead and tie that on just to get it moving here. Do you have a rubber band tie?
I do.
Okay, excellent. Let's just go ahead and tie that right there. Okay, and that'll get that started. And now we can keep tying. I like to do a double tie on these ones when they're a little looser. Okay, this is just a rubber band tie. I like those for laying down nice new canes. Now we're gonna lay this down and we're gonna measure from our elbow to our fist, okay? And we're gonna use that as our measure for how much cane we wanna actually lay down for our cordon in the first year. That's 1, 2, 3, that's about 6 buds there. Mm-hmm. You can put a tie there, double wrap that on the end. If you need a third one in the middle, you can do a third one in the middle. Okay, and but for right now, I'd probably put a third one there just to get the shape that we want. We'll go ahead and we're gonna make a video long enough to show this whole process, okay? Now this is your training stake that was bamboo. Rebar lasts longer, Dan, just saying.
Will. It'll cost. It'll hurt a lot more.
It
too.
costs a little more too.
Yeah.
Okay, can we bend this one down? You want me to do the honors?
You can do it. You can
I'll
do it.
start
Yep.
here, and I'll start. Listen, crinkle, crinkle. Okay, little crinkling is okay, as long as we're not snapping it. We want to get a good tight bend in here so we don't have a big gap. That's pretty good there. You want to tie that one on, Dan?
Yep.
Okay, and it looks like we were successful at laying down this cane without cracking or breaking it. So now we just need to cut it to length where it touches the wire, 15 inches.
About there.
There we go, right about there. We don't want to overcrop the vine. We also want to make sure we don't have blanks or apical dominance. Where we have buds here that don't push. We want all these buds to push to get our spur positions in the future. So now we have our restructured new cordons coming into play. So what do we do with this, Dan? We have a special thing we do here because you have late spring freeze, right? Yep. And I guess I'll introduce the problem. The problem is if the buds start pushing here on your brand new cordon and we get a freeze and they die back, you can lose some positions. Yep. So we want to back up because of that high frequency of late spring freezes. Show us the backup.
Right. We'll just two bud that right here.
One clear, two clear buds, and that will grow up into the canopy. We could even put a little crop on that. And next year, if everything works out well up here, we can come in and properly remove that without cutting back too hard into the trunk. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new shoots, 11, 12 for our backup, and you haven't lost any crop. Congratulations, Dan. Nice work. You've got yourself a new vine.
24 clusters of fruit.